This happened to me in 2019, and I've only told 2 people about it. Mostly because the more I say it out loud, the less real it feels. But at the time, it didn't feel like a memory glitch. It felt like a warning. I was working at a warehouse job just outside of Louisville. It was boring, repetitive, night shift stuff. Count boxes, sign off on deliveries, drink enough coffee to stay upright. I used to bring my headphones and listen to true crime podcasts to keep myself focused. Ironic, I guess, considering what ended up happening. The building was huge and mostly empty after 1 a.m. Just me, my supervisor, and a janitor named Kevin who barely spoke. The place had motion sensor lights, so when you walked into a new section, it would flicker on in a kind of stuttered delay. It started one night while I was organizing a shipment in Sector 4, a section of shelving units near the back that always felt colder than the rest. I was halfway through counting a stack of old monitors when I suddenly paused. The feeling hit me hard, like I was remembering something in reverse. I knew what I was going to do next. I'd drop the clipboard. It would bounce twice, and the left monitor on the bottom row would tip over and hit my shin. Then I'd curse under my breath, and it all happened. Exactly that way. Every detail, down to the scrape on my leg. I remember laughing a little at myself. It was just déjà vu, right? It happens. But then it happened again. And again. Small stuff at first, phrases people would say, songs that came on the radio, where objects would be placed, but always just accurate enough to make me feel watched, like I wasn't remembering the future. I was being shown it. The turning point was the night of the fire drill. It was just after 2 a.m. when the alarm blared. Loud and jarring, but not completely out of the ordinary. We did random tests sometimes. Kevin, the janitor, looked confused when I passed him in the hallway, like he didn't know what was going on. I told him it was probably just a drill. Then I felt it again. This sensation in my stomach, like I was walking through a moment I'd already lived 100 times before. I stopped near the stairwell and knew that someone was going to yell. I didn't know what the words would be, but I knew the tone. Urgent, terrified. Seconds later, my supervisor came barreling down the stairs shouting, "Stop! Don't go outside." His face was pale. Apparently, there was a real fire small, but close to the exit I was walking toward. If I had gone through the door, I might have inhaled a ton of smoke, maybe worse. The fire department said it had started from faulty wiring near a stack of cleaning supplies. It was pure luck. I hadn't gotten there sooner, but it wasn't luck. I knew not to open that door. I remembered the warning before it happened. And then I started dreaming about the warehouse. Not the real one, but a warped version of it. Darker, endless. The lights wouldn't turn on when I walked, and I couldn't find any exits. Sometimes I'd hear footsteps echoing, always behind me. Sometimes I'd hear my own voice, asking questions I didn't remember saying. In the dreams, there was always a locked metal door at the end of the farthest aisle in Sector 4. The same door every time. I'd try to open it, but it was sealed shut. Then one night, I got it open. and I saw myself. Not a mirror, not a reflection of me. Standing there in a ripped uniform, with something like frost on my face. I was dead, but my eyes were open, and I swear they moved. They watched me. I woke up gasping for air, and I called out of work for the first time in 2 years. That day, I asked Kevin if he ever got strange feelings at night in Sector 4. He looked at me for a long time and finally said, "You know, the last guy who had your shift, he said the same thing before he disappeared." I asked what he meant by disappeared, and Kevin just shrugged and said he quit without notice. Never picked up his last check. But something about the way he said it didn't feel casual. I tried to forget. For a few weeks, I thought maybe it was just stress, sleep deprivation, too much true crime. But then, during a routine shift, I saw it. That door, the one from my dreams. It was real. Covered by a shelving unit no one had touched in years. I felt physically sick when I looked at it. I never opened it. I don't know if I could have. But I quit that job the next day. Sometimes I still dream about that version of myself. The one behind the door. I think he's still there, trapped in a loop I narrowly escaped. Maybe that's what déjà vu really is. Not a glimpse of a past life, but a warning from another one. One where you didn't make it out,